welcome to another video. My name is Heather, and as always, I'm reading with a vengeance, and as always, I hope you are as well. As you can tell, today it's the Zoe and Jake show. I am doing the Booktuber Dog Tag 2022. I was not tagged by anybody, but I saw Gemma over at Gemma Books do it with her gorgeous Vizsla Rudy, who I absolutely adore. I adore them both. Gemma, of course, hurt my feelings by not tagging me. Kidding! I am kidding. She didn't know that I had dogs, which hurt my feelings because that means she doesn't watch my channel. I'm kidding! I'm kidding. And I think there's been maybe one video where Zoe popped in. It was like Booktube numbers tag where I think Zoe walked in. And then the only other video I recorded after she posted, doesn't really matter, but my most recent video, I think it was my mid-month wrap up where it started off, you can hear Zoe slurping her water. She's quite the lady. This is going to be about my dogs, Zoe and Jake. If you're a booktuber and you decide that you want to change this tag up a little bit and do it with your kids instead of your dogs, that sonic boom that you hear will be the speed with which I unsubscribe. Kidding. Am I? No, I'm kidding. I just won't watch that video. This is all in good fun, people. Let's get started with the tag before I dig my hole any deeper. First question. Tell us about your dogs. Okay, well, let's get them in the picture here, shall we? Zoe, Jake. Let's start with Jake. Yeah. This is Jake. He is what's called a boony dog, and I have talked about this a little bit. So my husband and I lived in Guam for 3 years because he's in the military. And on Guam, sadly, they have a huge stray dog problem. And because of that, there's lots of fostering programs and rescue programs. Well, not programs, but there's a lot of people there that rescue dogs and try to adopt them out. And he was a year old when he was found on the side of the road. I think someone just got, they wanted a cute puppy. They got a cute puppy. And then when he was not a puppy anymore, they just got rid of him, which, there's a special place in hell for people like that. Jake. Yep, that's a good boy. He's a little camera shy. Oh yeah, he's called a boony dog because the jungles in Guam are called the boonies. And so, since these are dogs on the streets in the jungles of Guam, they're called boony dogs. If I were to guess, he looks kind of like a mix between a shepherd and a Rhodesian Ridgeback. We got him when he was a year old. He's now, I think he's going to be 7 this summer. He's a high anxiety dog. He reacts and barks to everything, which is kind of sad, but he's a sweetheart. He doesn't like his feet or legs touched. He doesn't like you to use your nails when you rub his belly. Yeah, he's a little quirky, but he's gorgeous. He has his own Instagram account, and that's, I think, Jake the Boony on Instagram. So if you want to get a closer look at this gorgeous doggo. A huge creature of habit. At 7:30 in the morning and at 7:30 at night, he comes and sits in front of you and stares at you, basically saying, "It's my meal time, please, thank you." Yeah, he knows how to tell time. Does your dog know how to tell time? It's crazy, like 7:30 on the dot. So that's Jake. Let's talk about Zoe. Come here, Zoe. No, you go sit down. Zoe, come here. Come here. Sit. Okay. You want another treat? Good girl. It's not your turn. So this is Zoe. We also rescued Zoe from the Boxer Rescue Inc., I believe, which is in Massachusetts. And we rescued her in 2015. It was only estimated her age to be between 2 and 4. So we call it an even 3. So we think she's about 10 now. So in Puerto Rico, they also have a huge stray dog problem, and there's a lot of them are boxers. The rescue program So the rescue program in Puerto Rico kind of works with the Boxer Rescue Inc. in Massachusetts, and then they bring dogs over, and then they're fostered and found homes, and that's how we found Zoe. And I got Zoe after my beloved Layla died in 2015. I've always been a boxer person. Zoe is my 5th boxer. And I was raised around boxers. My grandparents had boxers my whole life. So I've literally been around boxer dogs since I was a toddler. When my mom and I would go visit my grandparents, which was weekly, she'd literally toss me out into the backyard with Robbie, the boxer, and not have to worry about me. She has regaled me with stories of whenever I was in trouble, all I would do is run and stand behind Robbie, and Robbie would not let my mom near me. Boxers, they just, you know, if you were to ask me what my favorite breed is, now it's rescued, but Boxer is a very, very close second. I just love the dogs. I think they're beautiful. I think they're funny, smart, meh, and they're super, super loyal and sweet. And this is my Zoe girl, and she is a princess. What about her also? She is, she loves all people. She does not like any other dogs. She tolerates Jake. She loves to cuddle. She also has her own Instagram account. She is Zoe the Princess. My husband moderates that account, but she is an absolute love bug. She's super jealous if I give lovin's to the brown dog over there. Her best day would be to be on the bed with me, reading my book all day long. Yeah, she's my old girl. No offense. But anyways, yeah, and I decided to record out here because other than being on the bed with me, this is kind of their happy place. I'm out on my back deck. I did bring my book trolley, obviously, to keep the Booktube vibe. I was hoping they'd be kind of in the picture the whole time, but they're right here on their little mats. So if they're not going to come into the video the whole time, I'll probably insert some B-roll, much like Gemma did. I have more pictures of my dogs and more video of my dogs than I do of anybody else in my family, probably including my husband. But in all fairness, my husband could probably say the same thing. Question number 2. Oh my God, is this going to be like one of those long videos? Because I could talk about my dogs like I talk about books. Okay, let's go on to question number 2. What would be your dog's favorite book? Okay, that's easy. So for Jake, it would be The Secret Life of Squirrels by Nancy Rose. This is a children's book. Honestly, I just kind of looked online and said, give me a book about squirrels, because this guy wants to know. There's a lot of squirrels in our yard, front and back. We have bird feeders they're always getting into, and he's at the window every single time, and he's got this look of pure murder, and he loses his mind. He chases them anytime they're in the yard. So anyways, yeah, it's a children's book. I don't know if that's what the question is really geared towards, but I mean, literally, if Jake would pick a book, it would be The Secret Life of Squirrels. Zoe, the one that I picked up, I tried to look up books about napping because that's her favorite thing to do. But the one I came close to was The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. And this, I think, just came out last year, and it's nonfiction. And I think he just talks a lot about what brings him comfort, what soothes his soul. I haven't read it yet, but it looks like something that would be kind of an autumny or even wintry book. Almost like that book, the book on Higgy, which is the Danish book on comfort. So Zoe would pick something on how to be more comfortable in life, because she doesn't have comfort in her life at all. Question number 3. Use the first letter in book titles to spell your dog's names. Thank goodness they have short names. And so what I did to kind of make this a little bit more challenging for myself is I drew books from my actual shelf, with the exception of one letter. I could not find a letter or a book in my entire personal library that starts with K. So I have, for Zoe, I have Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, an Inquiry into Values by Robert M. Pirsig. So this is, to be fair, my husband's book, but it's been on our shelf for a while. It's a narration of a summer motorcycle trip undertaken by a father and his son. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance becomes a personal and philosophical odyssey into fundamental questions on how to live. Z for Zen. Oh, I took Out of the Dark by Gregg Hurwitz. I believe this is part of a series. Oh, it's an Orphan X novel, which I read the first in the series. My husband's read the whole series. The first in the series was really, really good. Sorry if there was a little bit of a frame change. I think I was a little off kilter. Between me and my camera, only one of us should be off kilter. Orphan X follows Evan Smoke, and he is raised in this program kind of to be the perfect assassin. He's got special skills, but he ends up growing up and using those skills to help people. In this first one, I think he's being stalked by someone else from that program who wants to be the only one from that program. It's kind of assassin-y thriller suspense, and I really enjoyed it. It's really usually not my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it. So anyways, so that was the O for Zoe. And I kind of cheated for the E because I really couldn't, well, I needed two, and I only found one for Jake. And so this one is The Enemy by Lee Child, and this is Jack Reacher. I can't remember which one in the series this is, but I'm holding on to it because I've read the first two in the Jack Reacher, and they're enjoyable. I will eventually, over time, read the rest of the series, and like I said, I don't know which one this is, but yeah, so here's the E, and everybody knows the Jack Reacher stories, right? I really don't have to get into that, but Jack Reacher, you guys know who Jack Reacher is. Anyway, but that's Zoe's. So for Jake's, what do we got? We have, Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's been on my shelf for a few months, but I'm saving it, I think, for October, because I think that'll be a perfect time to read this. So J. A is A Cold Heart by Jonathan Kellerman. I think this is one of my husband's books, so I'm really not sure about it. It looks like it's an Alex Delaware novel, so it looks like it's one in a series. And it looks like it's been around for a while. Ooh, it looks like I also got this from a little free library. Awesome. Master at creating psychological nuanced novels of suspense. So yeah, this looks like it is a suspense thriller with a murder involved. And then, so since I couldn't find a book that started with the letter K, I found one on my TBR that I want to read that starts with K, and that is Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI, and that's by David Grann. I've been wanting to read that for a long time. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of that one, and it kind of speaks for itself. It's nonfiction. It is about the Osage murders and the birth of the FBI, like I said. And then for the actual E that I found, I still have this on my shelf, and that is Everything is Teeth by Evie Wild. This is a graphic novel. I have talked about this on my channel. I have read this. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. It says, when she was a little girl passing her summers in the heat of coastal Australia, Evie Wild was captivated by sharks. So it is a graphic memoir. By their innate ruthlessness, stealth, and immeasurable power, and they have never released their hold on her imagination. So this basically is kind of a memoir from her childhood, her summers in Australia, and her love for sharks. So there you go, Zoe and Jake spelled out in books. Question number 4, what are your dog's relationships with books? Well, I will tell you that I do a little series on my Instagram channel called Reading in Bed with Dogs, and Zoe is in most of those pictures, Jake sometimes, and I will pop up some pictures here that come from my Instagram account of basically reading in bed with dogs. Their relationship with books has to do with me. If I am sitting somewhere, laying down somewhere, reading a book, that's basically the song of their people of it's time to cuddle. Question number 5 is, what is your favorite book with a dog? That's really easy. I've talked about this book before I think I did a video, which I will link down below, to read if you are an animal lover. And the one I chose for that one is The Story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Wroblewski. Absolutely love this book. What is it about? It has lots of dogs in it, actually. The story of a young boy and his dogs, which, if you've been watching my channel, you know that one of my favorite narratives is the relationship between animals and people, specifically dogs, but not just dogs. And Edgar Sawtelle is a young boy who was born mute, and he communicates by sign, and his family raises a fictional dog breed on their farm. He helps train them with the sign language. His father dies, and his uncle comes to take place as the man of the house. Edgar does not get along with his uncle, and he believes his uncle had something to do with his father's death, and he tries to prove it. It goes terribly wrong, and he ends up leaving the farm, running away with 3 of the yearling dogs. Most of the book is what happens to him and his 3 dogs on this runaway adventure. It's kind of a coming of age. It's kind of a murder mystery. It's about family and forgiveness and love, and it's absolutely beautiful. I will warn you that many people hate this book because of the ending, and I'll tell you right now, I did not love the ending, but it was so good, and it just captured my heart so much that I gave it a 5-star anyways. Did I give it a 5-star? yeah, gave it a 5-star anyways. It's just that kind of book. So warning, you won't like the ending. So that's that. Nope. There's my Jake barking at a fly. Question number 6. Find a book on your shelf with a dog on the cover. I have The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I haven't gotten to this yet. The only one I've read of hers is The Flat Share, which I really enjoyed. And this is basically about, I think, a woman and her grandmother who kind of switch lives and their shenanigans ensue. So yeah, that was the only book that I could find. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time pulling out each book to see which book had a dog on the cover. So there's that one. Question number 7. Find a book in your TBR that has the word dog in the title or has a dog in it. So the only one in my TBR, at least the first one that I found, I think I got it free, either in Nook Books or Kindle, and that is Lost and Found by Amy Shohai. I'm not sure how to say that last book, and it looks like it's the first in a series. It's called the September Day series. And the first blurb says, she doesn't trust people. So I'm like, yes, please. Can she team up with a service dog to save a missing child and catch a murderer? It's on my TBR, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, I have a free copy on one of my e-readers. And question number 8 is, who would you tag? So I was going to kind of scroll through the booktubers that I subscribe to see who has dogs, and that was going to take way too much time, other than the people who I know have already been tagged. So I'm not tagging anybody specifically. I enjoyed doing this. I love my dogs. They're my family. But if you are a booktuber and you have dogs, please do this tag. I would love to watch it. And if you do this tag because you watched this video, please let me know so that I can watch it. And if you're still watching at this point, please give that like button a boop. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to have you here. I love doing these videos for you. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for watching in the chaos that was not Reading with a Vengeance, but the Zoe and Jake show, kind of. Yeah, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.